Good morning. It is Monday and I'm back after having a week off from all things like design wise and all that good stuff. My name is Amanda and I'm the creator and designer behind Little Forest Makes, and I design little amigurumi plushies and things of that nature. I have recently started branching out into wearables such as shawls and things, but that's just a little bit about me. It is first thing on a Monday morning. I haven't done my hair yet, anything like that, but if you've been here before, you know that that is the norm. Because we're not here for that, we're here for all the crafty good stuff. So the crows are wanting their breakfast, sorry. We'll just keep going through it. I don't know if you'll even be able to hear it, so that'll be interesting. So I just wanted to start off by saying a big thank you for all the love and support that you guys showed over on Instagram for August's Patreon pattern, which is Patch the Pony. Now, if you're on Patreon, you get one pattern a month. It's £3 to join. You get one pattern a month and you get dedicated tester call slots. You get behind the scenes content. Every now and then we'll do like crochet chat, like a video call thing, where we'll get together as a group and just work on whatever we're working on. We had put a hold on that for just now because things were a bit busy and they weren't, they weren't as popular. So I thought if that's not something that people are needing, then I'll put a pause on that and we can bring it back at a later date. But yeah, I think the main thing that people join for is that free pattern, because like I said, it's £3 a month. And these patterns for the chunky animals, I normally sell them for, it's £5, but then Etsy adds on their own fees on top of that. So I think they end up selling for like £6 or something maybe. Can't remember. But you're saving money by getting the Patreon pattern. Plus, it means that it's Patreon exclusive for the first 3 months of its life, and then it gets added on. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. Everyone received them really well. Come on, there you are. Oh, this is the thing if you use alpaca. So it's a Drops Nepal, which is a wool alpaca blend, and that's my favourite for a lot of my animal designs. You get these long fibres naturally, and sometimes it just looks like there's a big hair sticking out of it. So that's Patch. Come on, Patch. There you go. That's Patch. She's the first of the animals to have those big old overalls, and I just think it works really well for her. So that's her, and a big thank you again for all the love for her. What I had been working on whilst I was off was my Fanta Stitch shawl by Stephen West, and it is really grown. Now I'm halfway through a roll because I always am, but just look at this. So where's the centre? That's the centre. And then it goes through all these different textures. And the one I completed whilst I was away was this honeycomb section. And well, basically from the start of the honeycomb section up is what I got done whilst I was off. I'm so looking forward to having this as a finished object and to be able to wrap myself up in it. I think it's going to be fantastic. And again, this is it Drops Flora, and that is the wool alpaca blend that doesn't have the nylon in it, I'm sure. And so you've got that warmth, but you've also got that drape and the softness from the alpaca as well. So it's like a perfect, for me it's a perfect blend, because I don't mind a more rustic feeling wool. I will wear it, doesn't bother me, but sometimes you do just want that little bit of softness, and for me that's that. Now, for anyone that is big on knitting, and big on knitting shawls specifically, and we will get back to the crochet stuff, I promise, you'll probably have seen that Stephen West has brought out another pattern. I had been eyeing it up as soon as I seen the first sneak peek of it, and I was like, oh, this is one that I'm gonna want, I think. And I was a little bit anxious because I was like, I hope the finished project, I hope is something that I'll like, because I feel like with some of the shawls, because they're absolutely insane in the best way, but I feel like with some of them there's elements of it that I really like, but then other parts I'm like, it's not really my taste. And I was really nervous because I was like, oh, I hope that I like all of it. And then he showed the final piece. I will maybe put a picture in here. It's called the Deco Dreams shawl, I'm sure. I'll put the name in as well if I've got it wrong. It's stunning. And he put up a picture of it on Instagram with the yarn requirements and stuff for each colour. And of course, while I was away on my wee break, I decided to order some. Now, I wanted to order it in that colourway that he has, because that's just my typical kind of colour palette. I like those kind of greens and the yellows and stuff. But then when I stopped and thought about the shawls that I was already working on, especially that big Fanta Stitch one, I'm like, that's got all my greens and my browns in it for now. I've got one that, I've got my Northern Lights one that's got all my blues and my orange and yellows in it. And I'm like, I need to expand my colour palette a wee bit. So I went on to Wool Warehouse and I'm looking at the yarn that they've got, and I went on to the Drops Fable brand, and I looked just at their full line of colours, the little swatches that they've got, and there were certain colours that really popped out at me, and I was like, oh, that's not my norm. But I decided to go for it. I don't know what to say. Like, I know it's not a big deal at all. It's just colour. But see, for me, I never really wear pink. I've got one pink jumper that my mum gave me, and that's the only reason I really ever, well, it's the reason I started wearing it, and then I was like, oh wait, I actually quite like this. But I found it really interesting because I like pink. I like the colour pink. But, and I know I'm not alone in this, I feel like as a little girl, I was convincing myself that I didn't like pink. Because if you liked pink, now this is just 5-year-old Amanda thoughts, but if you did like pink, then you were just a girl and you were weaker and you were like not as tough and not as like, do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't even know how I'm trying to get that feeling across, but I just remember being in primary school and when your favourite colour was a really important decision, I remembered thinking, it can't be pink. And I don't know why, and that's quite sad, and I can't remember anybody that made me feel like it couldn't be pink. I think it was very much just in my own head. But like over the last year or two, since my mum gave me that jumper, I've kind of started falling in love with it a wee bit more, and I'm like, I'll bring wee bits of it in. And it's funny because I've noticed, like, for example, if I had, I'm trying to think, like I got headphones a couple years ago that had the pink on them, and it was, oh, are you going for pink? Because it was just not the norm for me. And I don't even know what I'm trying to say. This is just such a big rambly mess. I'll probably cut most of it out, but my point being is I'm taking back the colour pink for myself, and I'm so excited. This is the centre part of the shawl, and this will mirror on the other side. You'll have seen in the photo, but this will mirror on the other side here, and then it gets great big wings out this way. And I think it's just gorgeous. And it's, this part so far is done in garter stitch, which is making it a very, very easy knit, very relaxing and very squishy and soft and great. And I've basically paired that with, so I've got my colours all in Drops Fable, the white and then the 3 shades of pink. And then for the mohair, I went for the Drops Kid Silk in that kind of off-white colour. And normally I'm not a big fan of mohair, but that's okay. So yeah, I think this week is going to be quite busy. I'm going to try and wrap this wee intro section up because I realise that I'm chatting and it's 13 minutes on my clock so far. This week is going to be quite busy. The kids are going back to school, and so I've got things that I need to get in place for them. I need to get the pattern for the Auchinleck shawl written up because the test call for that is live. And I want to finish off the I want to finish off the design for September's Patreon pattern. That was close. So yes, all that being said, before I give away too much, I'm going to go and have my coffee, do my morning knitting, and then get started for the day. Season. Hello. So I have jumped in for a shower and I've started getting some washing done and cut the grass. Basically, I've done all the things that I wasn't planning on doing, and now my body's battery is whoop. I noticed that when I came back from our holiday, I ended up, and I knew I would, but I ended up going into quite a big flare up. But it ended up like a lot worse than I thought. Not so much pain wise, but fatigue. I think I was awake for 3 hours yesterday during the day. I just slept. So I slept all the way through the night, got up at 8 o'clock in the morning, went back to bed at about 10:30, and I didn't get up until 3:30, and then I was able to kind of stay up for a wee bit. It was wild, but I was feeling okay this morning, just a bit tired, but I don't want to get into the habit of napping and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is little things that make me feel like I'm achieving like small wins, because I feel like that really helps with my mood and stuff like that, and it encourages me to keep going. So I've cut the grass, and our garden is tiny, so it's not it's hard going, but it's not too much. So done that. Got the washing done. I've showered, which I know sounds daft, but if you've got chronic illness, you know what I mean. It's an achievement. So I've done that. I've made a fresh coffee, and I'm going to journal just for a wee catch up, because I haven't written anything in for maybe about a week. And I don't journal every day by any means, but I use it as and when, like if I want to document really, really good things, obviously, but I also use it, see if I'm like mentally feeling a bit scatterbrained and I'm getting overwhelmed. I've not discovered this, but writing it all out really helps. So I am going to sit for a wee while with my coffee and do a bit of writing and just see what I want to tackle next. Yeah. Good morning, it is Tuesday and it's actually just turned afternoon, so good afternoon. Yesterday I ended up working on my test knit for the I-cord raglan, I believe it's called. I'll put a photo in here. And I managed to get a good bit of work done on that, but see, because I've not been knitting with thicker yarn and bigger needles for so long, I can feel it up both arms are quite achy. So, but I did get a good dent in that, because the deadline for that is the end of this month, I'm sure. I cut one of the boys' hair for school tomorrow, they go back, and I've got the other one to do today. This morning we have been out a little walk with the dog and doing a bit of bird watching, and I've came back, cut up the trousers, put them through the sewing machine, cut up some school trousers. So it's been quite a productive morning, but I've not done anything work wise yet. So my plan was originally to pick up that I-cord raglan again and put another couple hours in that. However, so I used the little structured planner app, and it sends you a notification when your new task is about to start. And my task came up for me to work on the Patreon pattern for September for a couple hours. So I'm just making a cup of coffee and I'm going to do that instead. So get a bit of work done on that. 2 hours is a good chunk of time. So I'm hoping to get a good amount done, really, but we shall see. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm feeling a little bit scatterbrained. I don't know if I'd said this yesterday. I get really anxious when the schools are going back. I don't know why. I just think about everything that needs to get done, and even though we're pretty much there, I still panic. So just gonna take a breath, don't let myself get stressed out. At the end of the day, it's just primary school. There's, like, if they forget a pencil case, or if do you know what I mean, like, they're not going to get kicked out or anything. But these are the thoughts that go through an anxious mum's mind. So yeah, gonna go and get some stitches done on that pattern, and I'll check in when I have anything to say. Morning, it is Wednesday. That's just the sun, sorry. It's Wednesday and I've just dropped the kids at school. They are back for their first day back. They're now in primary 4 and primary 6, which is just terrifying. They done so well. If I'm being completely transparent, I did not. And it wasn't the type of like, oh, my kids are growing up and all that kind of cry, which there's nothing wrong with. It's just I feel like that would be more of a normal reason to cry. But last night I just freaked out. It was almost like, I do it every year, so I know, but it's that whole change into routine thing again, and everything kind of feeling like this big upheaval of, do you know what I mean? Just the routine thing. But it was, I couldn't have asked for a better start. They were brilliant. They were so good. We're going to celebrate with getting some yum pastries from Greg's afterwards. And yeah, I think I'm super tired. I'm super tired, so I think what I'm going to do is have this wee cup of tea. And I did have plans on doing a lot of like work stuff today, but I think after last night and not really realising how stressed I was actually getting about them going back to school, I think I'm going to just take the day to read, and I'm going to take myself back to bed, do some reading. Good morning, Miss Bean. And yeah, I'm reading the first Crescent City book and I'm about 25% of the way in, and I'll be honest, I'm on the struggle bus with it. I feel like it's a lot of information getting thrown at you, and I don't really know if the plot is enough to pull me in yet. So if you've read it, please let me know. But I have been I worked a little bit more on the sweater test. I got a good amount of stuff done on the September Patreon pattern yesterday. And then yesterday evening and this morning, I've been working on my Deco Dreams shawl. I love it. Look at those colours. They're so good. Loving it. So, yeah, it's been quite good all round. Miss Chili Bean was injured last night, weren't you, Miss Bean? Weren't you? Yes. She was injured because she was playing with a bee. Don't be embarrassed, it's okay. She was playing with a bee and it stung her in the paw. And she was immediately like clinging on to me, panicking and stuff. It was a wee shame. When we were cuddled in, I could see that the stinger was still in her foot, so I was able to get that out without any issue. And then you were fine, you just fell asleep. So, yes, an interesting evening all round. I had a mini meltdown over nothing, and Chili fought a bee and lost. So, yes. All that being said, there's no major dramas today. We can just chill out and read and craft, and it'll be great. Yeah? Yeah. Hello. I wanted to quickly pop in before I needed to go and get the kids from school. I decided to read and I napped for ages and it was just fantastic. And since I've been up, I've been working some more on my Deco Dreams shawl. I've now finished that middle wedge and I'm going to be kind of mirroring this side on that side. So I'll put that up. Hopefully you can see that okay. I'm loving this so far. This garter stitch knit back and forth is brilliant. I think when I first seen the shawl, I thought, oh, this looks amazing, it looks beautiful, it looks squishy. but then I thought, oh, is this going to be too complex for me to navigate, like all the different wedges and the kind of short row stuff? I promise it's really not. The Stephen West's pattern is very good at having photos showing you the trickier parts, or a video link showing you the trickier parts. And even at that, see, by the time you've done like these two bottom ones, by the time you've done them, all of this is a piece of cake. It really is. And I'm so excited because I don't know, I was nervous initially when I looked at the side, like panel parts either side of this, because I thought, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, and the kind of nervousness would start to kick in. But having been able to get this far, tackle these kind of wedges and the short row bits, this I-cord like decrease point from where we've been going up and up and up and up, and then I was like, all right, how am I going to go back down? How am I going to get shorter? Is that going to be too tricky? Am I going to be able to do that? And it was easy. It was actually quite fun. So yeah, and now I'm back to the point where I'm doing what I had done previously. It's very, very fun, and I think you could make some really exciting colour combinations for this. So, but like I said, I'm going to be using my pink shades, which I'm really, really enjoying. I love this dark raspberry pink. And yeah, I just wanted to pop in and say I'm having a great time with this. I am going to go and grab my Kobo and head round to get the boys. I'm not going to bring Miss Chilly with me this time. She came with me this morning. She's sleeping beside me. She's still sleeping from this morning. She's just a wee tired bean. But yeah, I think I was standing for about like 15 minutes this morning, and my whole body is screaming. So I'm trying to like pace myself and make sure that I'm not doing too much too quickly, but it's difficult when you've not seen your friends for so long and you want to catch up and see how the kids are all getting on and stuff. But we'll take it a day at a time. I feel like I'm rambling. Sorry. I'll speak to you soon. Hello, it is Thursday. So I can't remember fully how much I'd shared with you yesterday. I ended up napping during the day while the kids were at school, and I'd done a bit of reading, and after school I worked on the Patreon pattern for September and got a good little chunk of that done. And I think I'm going to work like that for this week. Just rest during the day, and then in the evening, if there's something that I'd like to work on, do that. I think that this afternoon I'm going to make a start. I've got the dog here, sorry, you can see your nose. You get me? Thank you. I think I will make a start on typing up the shawl pattern tonight for it going out for testing this weekend. It's going to be in testing for 4 weeks. I wanted to give plenty of time, as much as it only took me like a week or so to make it. I'm aware that I'm able to work on it as much as I want during the day. I'm very lucky, so I want to give people plenty of time to work on it, to work around their schedules and things like that. So that's my plan. It was about 4 weeks for that. There is the option to have it extended if a lot of people are struggling to get it finished in time. And for now, it is currently 12:30, I think. Yeah, it's 12:30. It's 12:30 and I think I'm going to knit on my Deco Dreams shawl by Stephen West and read my book, because there's a lot of just knitting back and forth while I'm doing some short row wedges. I'm able to read in between it. I'm currently reading the first Crescent City. Are you okay? Are you stuck? I'm currently reading the first Crescent City book. I'm about 30% in and I feel like things are starting to pick up a little bit. But again, me personally, I think it's because I've read so many thrillers. I feel like 30% is a long, when it's such a big book, that is a lot to get through before it feels like things are starting to take shape. However, last night I spent a little bit of time watching just a couple spoiler-free reviews on YouTube, and people were saying that there is a lot of world building and things at the start and it can be quite like confusing and overwhelming, which I definitely agree with. However, I've heard that once that's kind of in place, the rest of the book, it's like you fly through it. There's so much happening. It's dead exciting. It's really engaging. And then the books that follow are the same. So I'm going to stick with it. But I'm itching to get on to another book as well. Not that I'm not enjoying that one. I think it's just because I like to read a lot of different things. So reading the same book for such a long time, I think it's been like 10 days or something that I've been on this one, maybe a bit longer actually. And it's just like last month I read 11 books, mixture between audio and actual reading. You know what I mean? Not actual reading, you know what I mean? So for this month I haven't finished a single book yet, and I just feel like when you take that into account, plus the am I really enjoying this, I'm feeling really frustrated. Plus our book of the month book is Twilight, and I want to read, I'm having a reread of the 4 main ones. And I'm like, I want to be reading Twilight with my friends. So I'm going to read a little bit more of this afternoon. I think that now that it is kind of picking up, I probably will fly through it a little bit quicker. But yeah, all that to say is we're going to just keep going. This is where I'm at with my Deco Dreams shawl. So this is going to be the centre part. And I think it's looking quite good so far. I'm a bit worried in case I'm miscounting how many, like the bind off stitches for the going down the steps again. But so far it seems to be working out, and I've noticed that it's quite intuitive. Like where you stop doing the decreases makes sense, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm just gonna carry on working on this. Absolutely loving the colours. I think it's so cute, and I'm excited to start working on the wings. Hello my loves, it is Friday, made it to the end of the first week back at school. I'm very quickly popping on to show you how I'm getting on with my Deco Dreams shawl. This is the centre piece. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm going to be working away on this a little bit more today, and I might put some more stitches into my Fanta Stitch shawl. I'm currently reading the first Crescent City book. It has started picking up. I'm really enjoying it. So it's been quite good knitting for that, because I'm not really having to pay too much attention until it's the short rows. But Failing that, I'll go back to the Fanta stitch because the section I'm at just now is either knit or purl over 500 stitches per row. So we've got that planned. I'm meeting up with a couple of my friends for some coffees before the school pickup this afternoon, which is nice. And yeah, I'm going to have to spend a bit of time this weekend typing up the Auchinleck shawl pattern. This week has pretty much just been a case of sleeping and reading, but that's okay. That's what the flexibility is there for. So yeah, we're going to need to catch up with that. But yeah, I'll check in if anything else happens. Hello. I am just jumping in because I'm obsessed with this Deco Dreams shawl. I finished that segment, the wedge, and I have done 2 rows of my colour A. And I just wanted to say how much, again, I am absolutely loving this. It is so much fun. See if you have seen it and you've been intimidated or anything like that and thought, I don't know if I'll be able to do that. That looks quite complicated, the different shapes, because it looks so sophisticated, in my opinion anyway. Give it a go. Honestly, give it a go. It just looks beautiful. I don't know what happened to my footage there. Apologies. But look at the colours on that I-cord edge. The way they stripe. It's so much fun. It's so nice. I'm so excited to like get on to the next parts, even though I'm enjoying this so much. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And cost-wise, guys, all the yarn that this is going to use cost me £22 something, I think. I'm sure it was £22 something. I'm using the Drops Fable. I got 2 balls of each colour for my 4 colours. And then I got 2 balls of the Kid Silk Haze. That's, to me, to have a wool shawl, that's really, really good. Obviously, everyone's financial situations are different. But I'm so excited. And see, at the end of the day, make it out of whatever colours are making you happy. I made a post about this on Instagram, actually, this week. So, whatever colours make you happy, whatever fibres you enjoy working with, who cares? Like, there's a lot of kind of discrepancy about using certain fibres and people get quite heated with it. Use what makes you happy and what works for you. But most importantly, use the colours that you love. When I was a wee girl, I didn't want to like pink because I remember in primary school, liking pink and being girly had negative connotations of being weak, of being vulnerable, of being like just less than. And I don't know why, I don't know, it's quite messed up really, but I harboured that and I like rejected. I remember when I was a kid, fair enough it wasn't pink, but lavender or lilac, I loved that colour. My bedroom was that colour, everything. And I rejected it. I pushed it all away, and because I didn't want to be seen as that. I didn't want to be weak. I didn't want to be like, I wanted to be tough. I wanted to like no one to mess with me and not like that kind of mindset, which is so daft. It is so totally daft. But over the years, now I love my earthy tones, but over the years I'm becoming more comfortable with exploring colour a little bit more, and I struggled a lot with anxiety, especially when it comes to how other people perceive me. I struggled for a really long time having my face out there. Obviously with these vlogs, this is challenging that, and in what I think is quite a healthy way. I feel good about it. So, but I felt that draw to start incorporating pinks and purples and that back into my wardrobe. And it all started with a pink jumper that my mum gave me. Apologies if I've already spoke about this, but I just wanted to kind of touch on it again to really drive home the importance of... I know this is going to sound really deep, and maybe it's because, I don't know, I am exhausted. I'm about to go for a nap, book and then nap. Maybe it's that, but yes, it's a colour, but to me it's not just about it being a colour. It's about what it stood for me growing up. It's about how it shaped what I liked, what I genuinely liked, how I let other people's opinions totally influence me. Do you know what I mean? And I just, knitting on this has made me so happy. I feel like there is literally like, it's so dramatic, I get that, but there's a wee part of me that's just, it feels settled. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm reclaiming the colour for myself. I'm going to wear it and I'm going to love it because I like the shades. I think the shades are beautiful. I think they look really cute and really fun together. And I don't know. At the end of the day, it is a colour. It's not that big a deal. But I didn't realise how much I was still carrying that from being a kid, you know. So knitting on this has been, like, I'm excited to work on it. Do you know what I mean? And I have brought pink back into my life, like, in little bits. But it's never been something that's going to be big and dramatic like this shawl's going to be, you know. It's been, like, fair enough, the jumper that my mum gave me. But other than that, it's been my case. Like, this is very recent, even at that. It'll be the case on my e-reader or my pair of scissors. Like, there's wee things and I'll, like, slowly pull wee bits in. And I feel like with this Deco Dreams shawl, I've just been like, do you know what? No, I'm gonna just go big with it and just really enjoy it. And I do. I'm so excited. I think this is going to be a favourite. I'm not surprised because, I mean, the design itself is stunning. But look at the colours! Oh, she's beautiful. I love it. I really encourage you, please use your favourite colours in all your stuff that you're making. And if you've been eyeing up this shawl, or honestly, in my experience so far, I am almost finished 2 of his other shawls, the Northern Lights shawl and the Fanta Stitch shawl. I've got the Dotted Rays shawl cast on and I'm working on this one. He makes them so, it makes them so much easier to work than they look. That Fanta Stitch shawl is an excellent example. There are so many incredible stitch patterns and textures, like sensory wise. Both me and my eldest, we love that one. We love feeling all the different textures and things that each stitch pattern has. Don't be put off. They're all so well written. And this isn't new. I'm not this, obviously he's such a big, well-known designer for a reason. I think the stuff that he makes is gorgeous, but he explains it all very well. I aspire to be able to do that with my patterns. I would love for people to feel that same way, to look at something and think, oh, am I going to be able to do that? And then feel like the information I'd written down was enough to get them the sense of achievement that I feel. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel so accomplished when I look at that big Fanta Stitch shawl, when I look at this Deco Dreams, like, start that I've got. I look at that and it's one of those ones where you go, I made that. Do you know what I mean? Oh, right. Fangirl moment over. But all that to say is I'm going to go and read some Crescent City and I'm going to have a wee hour nap with my beagle. And it's going to be great. It's going to be so good. Morning. It is Sunday and I just wanted to put in a little closing thing for this week's vlog because I realised I hadn't. So Friday afternoon my health took a bit of a turn and As you can see, I'm still kind of coming out the other side of it. But I just wanted to pop in and show you this bit before we finished up for the week. Ta-da! So I have finished the centre part for the Deco Dream. Is it Deco Dream or Deco Dreams? I'm trying to check on the Deco Dream. Yeah, Deco Dream shawl. So I have finished the centre part and I just wanted to share. I'm really proud of it, to be honest. I got into the swing of things on the decrease side where we were like kind of stepping down the way, and then I thought, how am I going to do this bind off? And I'll be honest, I'm really proud, and I think that when you look at both sides you can't really tell which was the starting point and which was the end, you know. So yeah, I'm going to, it looks like the start of a very fancy top. Look. So I'm going to make a start on one of the wings if I can. But I'm most likely just going to go back to bed and read. I got up to see the boys off. They're away with Dad to go fishing for the first time. So I'd sorted their lunches and stuff, sent them on their way, and now me and Chili Dog are going to spend the day napping, and it's going to be great. So yeah, sorry if it's not been a very productive one, but it is what it is. I have postponed the Auchinleck shawl test because I just wasn't well enough to get it all written up to a standard that I would be happy with, and I don't want it to be unfair to the testers to have to read a pattern that doesn't make a lot of sense because I was tired or because I was sore or whatever. Basically not able to give my full attention to writing it up. So that will get postponed. I've kind of mentally penciled it in for next week, but I haven't announced when it will be. However, I did put up on Instagram that, you know, putting a pause on it and I will get back to it. You can still apply if you want to. The post is up on my Instagram. I'm just going to use the original test call post, and I had said that anyone that was no longer able to test, that's totally fine, because obviously timelines have shifted a little bit. So yeah, if you didn't mind spending a little bit of time with me, or I kept you a little bit of company while you were working on something, I'd love to know what you were working on. And I just wanted to thank you for being here and for spending a little bit of time with me. I know it might not always be exciting, but it still feels nice to be able to share what I'm working on and all that good stuff. So yeah, I wish you a great day, whatever you're up to, and I'll hopefully see you soon. Love you, bye!